What a backhand from Alicia Parks there. This is going to be a dangerous match for Eala because Alicia beat her at the Australian Open. And it's so funny, after I analyzed the final between Eala and Pegula, I mistakenly said Roland Garros. And you better believe I was corrected very quickly. But it's funny, I misspoke there because I covered that match. And that was a little bit of a controversial match, that particular one. But in any case, Alicia will have confidence from that win. However, there's a lot to talk about, guys. There's a lot to talk about. Tennis is relentless, isn't it, with the schedule? There's a lot to discuss. Let's lock in on the Eala service game first. 40-30. We got Fritz Hoyler on the scoreboard. We got a lot of things to correct here. But first, we got to focus on this 40-30 point. Eala spreading the ball nicely, applying a lot of pressure on Parks. And Parks goes down the line, misses. And Eala holds one love. Alicia Parks, a very talented player, power player, could potentially be one of the best servers on tour. But the issue with Parks is low percentage shots. Perfect example of this was her match against Goff in Miami, where she won the first set. Then Coco turned it around, started playing better, but the mistakes started, coming in for Parks. And the issue is that when that happens, you can't continue to play the same way. You have to make some adjustments. You have to. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to turn matches around. Okay, why does the Eala have a Greek flag on this? Okay, never mind. We're going to fix this, guys. Just hang in there for a second. Oh, no, it's correct. It's correct. Okay. Anyway. All right. There's the score. Hold on one second. We got the score, but we got Simone back here. He's being a little bit of a pain today because I was gone for a while. He was alone. He's not a happy camper. He was alone for a day, and he is not happy at all. Let me tell you. He's not happy at all. But we got a lot to talk about, guys. Like I said. Because a lot of things have happened already, even though it's only been a couple of days since DC. But I got to get some real quick. Hold on, okay? All right, I think we're finally settled in, ready to rock and roll over here. Parks with a nice hold. One all. Okay, a lot to discuss. Like I said, I don't even know where to begin. But let me begin with the schedule. That is so awful. I have no words for it. It's really bad for tennis. I gotta be honest with you. I know I've made several videos on this, but first and foremost, this tournament is too big. It should be a smaller draw and it should be 1 week. I've said this many times. But also, you notice like Fritz lost in the first round. And I'm going to relate this to the Eala match too. Fritz lost in the first round. Not a result that I expected, to be really honest with you. I thought Fritz was going to come through that. You got Noskova, who lost to McNally. Now, there's a couple of different ways to look at this loss, which we're going to do in a second. But let's first discuss Fritz. So the problem is these tournaments prior to the US Open are so jam-packed together. There's absolutely no time to reset for the players if they go deep in one. There's absolutely no surprise that like pretty much everyone, the top of the game is skipping these tournaments. You know, Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic. You're not going to see these guys ever in Washington. I know Sinner, I think, played Washington once. And you are unlikely going to see them in Canada either. Because the problem is, the only problem is that it's 2 weeks. Why is it 2 weeks? It's 2 weeks long. Now, it might not be an entire 2 weeks because I'm telling you, Cincinnati will start like on a Thursday or something. It'll overlap with this one, just like last year. The final will be on a weird like Wednesday or Thursday. It's an absolute nightmare. So a guy like Fritz wins a 500, very important title for him, you know, on home soil, very important tournament. He just doesn't get enough days. As a player that's like ranked very high, doesn't get enough days rest to you know, reset his body and all that. And you know, I expect Eala to come through this one. She's on fire. I think she's gonna have a good hardcourt season post Wimbledon, but it would be understandable if she lost this match, simply because she's back on the court. What day is it today? What is it? I don't even know. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday, and she was on the court in Washington, D.C. on Monday. I mean, this is ridiculous. It's so bad. And you could put other tournaments in there that would be fun. It doesn't, like I said many times, tennis doesn't always have to be about the Grand Slams and about the 1000s. It's fun to watch a 250 or a 500 as well. You get to see some different players. And also, I think one other thing that I didn't talk about, which I think now is true, let's say we have the fun tournament in Washington, D.C., or we have a fun tournament here, and there's one that starts immediately. I think there's like, it's a little too much for the fans as well. They don't get to take a breather either. It's too much tennis. It's too much tennis where you get sick of it. You can't get right into another tournament and follow these matches immediately. You need like a couple of days rest. If your favorite player won the tournament, you want to maybe enjoy it a little bit. You don't want to get back into another tournament immediately as a fan. It's fun to have a few days with nothing in between, or with other tournaments or something different. So you're going to see weird results, I think, in this hardcourt swing. I think it's going to be, especially the men's tournament here. I don't even know if Zverev won. Did he win today? Let me look. Because I was very busy today. I didn't get to see that many matches. I know Medvedev lost. And Zverev lost. Can you believe this? Yeah, Zverev lost first round. So you're going to see like weird semifinals, quarterfinals in this tournament. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, I'm telling you. And whether that's, at the end of the day, good for tennis, I don't know. Because I think if it's a week, instead of it being 2 weeks, I think the draw looks completely different. I think your chances of getting Alcaraz and Sinner increased by a lot. The double fault from Parks, low 15. Eala up 2-1, no breaks. But in any case, this won't change, so it's really no point talking about it. I just wanted to point out like that this is tough, and also like the way that they restructured this hardcore season, where there's like nothing going on hardcourt prior to Washington. It also strikes me as weird. You know, there's nothing wrong, like I said many times, with having clay court tournaments in Europe go all the way till the week before the U.S. Open. No problem with that. There are guys that are gonna, you know, I'm saying guys, but there are players, both WTA and ATP, that are gonna prefer playing on clay, and they're gonna go over there and play. But what happened to the tournament in Atlanta and like these smaller tournaments, where you can have a 250 prior to the 500, kind of build up to the hardcore season? I don't know. It's just nothing to play for these players that don't want to play on clay. They get this break. Maybe they don't want to have a break. And they're thinking long and hard whether they should be playing Washington, because that means like a month of tennis nonstop. So you get a result like the Noskova losing to McNally. Here's Eala loft 40 on the park serve. You got a second serve here. Let's lock in on this point, and I'll finish my point with the schedule, and I'll be done with it. But it's an incredible return there from Eala off a second serve. She sprays the forehand wide. Park saves the first break point, 15-40. So Noskova plays absolutely nothing. She took a little bit of time off from tennis, but you know, it's just a weird result. I was looking forward to the third round between Noskova and Eala. Now the draw opens up. Eala will play McNally if she comes through Parks. Ace from Parks there to save the second break point, 30-40. But you know, of course, the Noskova result could also be related to the fact that she won Wimbledon, right? So it's very natural. And some people in my analysis video even made that statement for Eala, which I don't think it's going to be accurate. I think Eala will not slump, and Parks with a big serve, hits the forehand inside in, misses wide, not by much. And there's the break for Eala. Let's see if she can consolidate this one. She did a phenomenal job consolidating breaks in the semifinal against Osaka and Washington, and in the final against Pegula. But back to Noskova, it's sometimes the case that you win a big title and everything changes. There's a lot more expectations on you. There's more pressure. There's all kinds of things that can happen to a player, and all of a sudden you start losing a lot. So that's happened to Sloane Stephens, for example. She lost something like 8 matches in a row after winning the U.S. Open. And other players have suffered from this as well. So that could be a reason too, but long story short, there's a problem with the calendar, and it's going to affect tennis in a negative way. Love 15, big forehand there from Parks. Eala with a big serve there. And a forehand error from Parks. She overhit that. Maybe she hit it a little bit late. 15-all. So let's talk about Parks a little bit. Again, like I said before, very talented player. Incredible power, big serve, big ground strokes. But when she's on, unbelievably dangerous. But when she's not on, that's where she can beat herself sometimes in matches. Or matches like the one I mentioned against Goff, where she's completely on fire, and then something changes. Maybe the opponent adapts a little bit, and then she doesn't have a different game plan and ends up losing. So that's the biggest challenge for Alicia Parks, to figure out how to play some high percentage tennis in addition to her power tennis. At 15-30 here on the Eala serve, and a nice serve to the Parks backhand. Draws a return error. 30-all. that toss went way further to Eala's right because she's lefty, okay? So it was a little bit of an off toss there, but she still managed to hit a great serve. She rotated fully into that serve. When you throw the ball, towards the kick side, let's say, that would be a universal term, applies to both lefty and righty, and you end up like flattening your serve out or even hitting a slice with rotation, you end up with a very uncomfortable bend of the body right at the moment of contact, and you lose balance once you land on the court. It's the first time I'm seeing a toss like that from Eala. That's a really nice two-handed backhand down the line winner for Parks. 40 all. One thing about Eala that I've seen during the Washington tournament is her ability to overpower opponents through the middle of the court. I've seen this against Osaka. I've seen it against Svitolina. I've seen it against Pegula. She hits the ball very hard through the middle sometimes, and the opponent is just like late on the shots, basically. That's what happened to Alicia there. Eala ripped the backhand, and Alicia was late on her forehand. Hit into the net. Another forehand error there from Parks, and Eala consolidates her break with a tough service game over deuce. Is up 4-1. That's the incredible improvement that I've seen from Eala in recent times. Is the service games have gotten better. She doesn't drop serve as much as she did before, in my eyes, and also she's able to hold serve after she breaks, because she breaks so much during the clay court season, for example, or even some matches on grass. She would break and then lose her serve immediately. I'm seeing far less of that in crucial stages of matches. And as I've said in my DC final analysis video, if you combine this great returning with improved serving, I had to kind of rethink of what I think Eala can do on the WTA Tour, because initially I had said top 20 because of that serve issue. But now the serve is getting better. The service games as a whole are getting better. I think she can get into the top 10. I really think so. And I think she's going to be dangerous here to draw. I mean, McNally is a very difficult opponent, very talented player. But Eala is going to go into that match as the big favorite. Double fault for Parks there. Love 15. Parks is mimicking to her box that you can't see. The lights must be very bright or something like that. That's an incredible return from Eala of a first serve from Parks. Backhand inside in return winner. Very good. Not the usual bunt that she sometimes hits, or she hits it usually on the first serves, but overall she does hit her returns with more of a fuller finish. But there she kind of she was late a little bit and still manipulated it like this and still tried to finish it and still control the ball quite well. It's a nice serve there from Parks, 15-30. She's got to get out of this game. Ace from Parks. Huge serve. 30 all. What time is it now in the Philippines, guys? I think it's in the morning time, right? But what I've learned, a lot of you guys stay up to watch in the middle of the night. And that's a really nice combo of shots there from Parks. Big serve. And good defensive forehand there, because Eala again put pressure on her this time. She controlled that pickup shot, if you will, from the baseline much better. Was actually able to hit it aggressively, and then neutralized the rally, and then got the upper hand with some very aggressive forehands, including a winner into the forehand corner of Eala. 40-30 on the Parks serve. Eala up 4-1. Another double fault from Parks. And it's deuce. By the way, these double faults that players are committing against Eala could be a result of the Eala return. You know, you start fearing that aggressiveness, and you start picking up the speed on the second serve and end up double faulting more. There's an example there, a huge return from Eala right through the middle of the court. Again, Parks overpowered, took too big of a swing there. She was pushed back by that ball and just can't control it. Head out, breakpoint chance for Eala. And Eala misses a backhand into the net. Very good point there from Parks. 40 all. And some big hitting though from Parks. Ball making a nice sound off her racket. Wonder what that racket is. Probably a Steam. Most likely a Steam. I will have to take a look at the throat. That's the giveaway. When you see WTA players playing with the blade, take a look at the throat. It's a wider throat on the bottom. Steam. Yeah, that's a good question. Does the WTA have any stats for shot quality? You know, that's a great question. I haven't seen it. I have not seen that. I don't know if they do. In general, WTA stats are very poor compared to ATP stats. That's a poor forehand error from Parks there. The whole court was open. She's too close to the ball. Misses it inside in. Eala went the other way. Another breakpoint chance for Eala. Oh, it's not. It's 9 a.m. in the Philippines. Okay, that's a good time to watch an Eala match. So if she ever gets night session during the US Open, you guys will be able to watch it in the morning. That's great. And there's the break for Eala. Double break, up 5-1. Eala putting a lot of pressure on Parks, and it's getting a lot of errors in return. But back to the stats. The ATP Tour.com website is fantastic. The stats are amazing. I mean, you open up serve stats or return stats, and you know there's a bunch of different categories, and you click on each category, and the rankings get refreshed. So you can find out who has the best first serve percentage or aces per match or whatever. But WTA has it to some extent, but it's very, very poor because it doesn't update. The rankings don't update, and It's just not good. But at least they have something now, because the WTA didn't even used to count aces. It's so weird. The stats on the WTA tour are way weaker than on the ATP tour. And I wonder why that is. Maybe I can find out when did the WTA tour start counting aces. It's not that long ago. Okay, it says here they started in 1997, which I don't know about that. I think it was 2015, because I'm seeing here the SAP Analytics partnership. I think it was 2015, but even that, like, it's been the stats have been weak for the WTA tour, or not easily accessible to the general public. Let's put it that way. And the ATP started counting aces in 1991, I think. Which is a bummer for my countrymen. Here's 3 set points for Eala. Very solid service game. Up 40 love, 5-1 in the first set. My countryman Goran Ivanišević missed a couple of years on tour where his aces weren't counted. And I'm not going to say that he would be higher in the list, you know, with Karlovic and Isner, because they're I think quite a way above him in total aces. But you know, since Goran has the most aces in a single season at 1,477, let's say he would get like between 2,500 and 3,000 aces in those 2 seasons where they didn't count, or maybe there was another season, I'm not quite sure, because he got on tour way before 1991. He would be even higher on the list. It's an unforced error from Eala. Looked like a poor spacing there on that backhand. Misses it wide. And it's 40-30. 2 set points saved by Parks. Hi, Anna. How you doing? What time is it in Australia right now? What a monster return from Parks, but Eala is so good at absorbing pressure, pace, holding her ground, crouching down, redirecting. Hits a forehand winner down the line. So she has a combination that's, I wouldn't say unique. There were other players like this on tour, or there are other players like this on tour, but she can create a lot of power. It's very aggressive, but she can also absorb power and redirect it, which means that she's not a player that retreats a lot. She kind of holds her ground. And, you know, some other players that hold their ground, it doesn't always work for them, you know, because sometimes you do need to back up a little bit and give yourself time. For example, the match between Eala and Fernandez in Washington, you can see that Fernandez was holding her ground, but she was getting overpowered by Eala. I don't see Eala getting overpowered. Maybe there was a couple of matches here and there, like the Noskova match in Indian Wells. I thought that Noskova just was too strong and was able to overpower Eala, but off the ground, only if it's directed in the corners. Like back in those days, the lateral movement of Eala was still a weakness, I would say. I think she's moving way better than she did back then. So it's like overpowered in a sense where her movement is the culprit there. But if the ball is going through the middle, close to Eala, she's very difficult to out-hit. Very difficult. Yes, Noskova is out. We talked about that in the beginning. It's good. If Eala ends up winning this, she's going to be the favorite to go into the 4th round, where she'll pick up a lot of points. But don't underestimate Katie McNally. Great player. Eala beautifully spreading the ball, getting Parks on a run, and exerting the error out of the Parks forehand, love 15. It's a huge forehand there from Parks, 15 all. She also had a little bit more time to set on that particular forehand. The ball didn't go through the court that quick and deep from Eala. But the thing is, you don't want to underestimate someone like Parks. Very dangerous opponent. And sometimes, winning a set 6-0 or 6-1 can be a little bit dangerous. And even in Washington, Eala had a little bit of a dip in the second set, especially against Fernandez, where she went down 5-1. But even against Svitolina, although just for 2 games, and then of course against Zhang as well. So Eala strikes me as someone that learns from the mistakes, that's always willing to add new things to her game, that's always willing to work on things. So it's going to be interesting to see how she performs early in this second set against Parks. It's a great return there. 30 all. Ace from Parks down to T. 40-30. 195 on that first serve. That's a monster serve from Parks. That's very fast for the WTA Tour. Very fast. Hi, do you think Eala ranking will climb in the top 10 before the end of the year? I don't know about the end of the year, but I think she will be top 10. I think she will be top 10. If Eala wins this match, can't wait for the next round versus Noskova. Noskova lost. She lost to McNally. Aside from her serve, what else does Eala need to work on to push her into the top 10? Well, like I said in many videos before, I think the movement on clay, it looked like it wasn't as good as it can be, especially the lateral movement. But I'm telling you, it's like I'm not seeing it the same way. I think she's moving a lot better. So the movement has gotten better, but still I think the lateral movement could maybe get a little bit better. But other than that, just a serve and nothing else. Everything else is very strong. That's an incredible return from Eala there. That's more the Connor style return where she didn't try to finish it over here. She more finished it here. More that bunt. You take a look at slow-mo here. You see? It's more of a bunt. She stopped it right here. And that's why I call the Connor style, because she reminds me of Connor since she's lefty, but only on that particular return. Another ace from Parks, add in. On her regular return, of course, looks nothing like Connor's because Eala has the modern game, Connor's didn't. But the bunt, that's a classic move right there. Another ace from Parks. What a dangerous server she is. All right, let's take a look at stats here. And we're going to attempt to find Parks on the stats. It'll be hard though, because again, the stats are not that great on the WTA Tour website. We're going to try to find it. Parks goes for that big return inside out, misses it, 15 love. She's not in the top 50. Eala, by the way, is 56 in the world. In aces, she hit 45 of them this year. Hold on, let me see. She hit 45 aces, I think, yeah. No, wait. Yeah. No. Hold on. Let me give you the wrong number. I apologize because the WTA Tour website on the mobile version is not that great. Hold on. Eala pumps the fist there. Important point at 15 all. The ball gets stuck at the top of the net from Parks. 30-15. What if I turn it this way? Maybe it'll work better. Yeah, that's better actually. Okay, let's see here. Where is Parks? Eala pumps the fist again. Yeah, it's a very important game right here for Eala. And again, improvement from previous tournaments, because this has sometimes been a problem for Eala. The beginning of the second set after she had won the first. Serves an ace there. Speaking of aces, and she holds 1-all. For you guys just tuning in, Eala won the first set 6-1. No breaks in the second set. 1-all. There we go. Aces. All right. Alicia Parks is number 10 in the world in aces with 171. 171 aces. First serve percentage is 55%. So that, hold on. First serve points 1, that is. First serve percentage is 55%. Hold on. It's almost impossible to read here, this website. But yeah, she's 10 in the world in aces, Parks, with 171 this year. Nice backhand swing volley from Eala. Law 15. Okay, now I got the right number. Eala served 61 aces this year, and she's number 56 with 51. 51 aces. She does have more double faults than aces, so looking for that number to reverse. Slice from Eala. The mix-up. Drop shot from Parks goes into the net. 15-30. Big combination of shots there from Parks. Big serve, big forehand. It's a winner down the line. 30-all. Kathy, the kitties are here. Yes, they're here. Simone left though. He was up here, but he's gone now. Simone is a little bit upset. The cats are upset because I was gone all day today. I came back like, I don't know, it's 7 o'clock or something. They're not happy. Not happy at all. Another monster serve from Parks, 40-30. Such a tough return from Eala there. Right on the line. She caught the return a little bit late, reversed the finish, and still enough control in the return to get it into the court. Draws another error of Parks. There'll be an interesting stat, one that probably doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but how many unforced errors does the Eala return draw? I'd like to see that on the first serve and the second serve. And Eala misses a return there. Add in. I'm in the US. I'm in the United States. And also the consistency of the Eala return is another thing that must be frustrating for the opponent because she doesn't give you that many errors off the return, even on the first serve when it goes in. Back to deuce. Another error off the return of Eala from Parks. Second serve here. Anna says Alcaraz out of Cincy. I already accepted that he's going to be out for the whole year. Why do you say that? There's no evidence for that to be true. I've seen people write that. Alcaraz is out for the whole year. What is this? There's no evidence for that. He's just being cautious, I think. I mean, I haven't read anything to the contrary. But listen, even if he pulls out of the US Open, he'll be back. He's going to be back. He's going to be okay. Unless they're not telling us the truth, which I don't understand why they would do that. If it's what they said it was, that's not a career-threatening injury. It's not. Despite what people write in the comments, they just don't know. You know, unless they're lying to us or they're just hiding it, which makes no sense. And it wouldn't make any sense why he would enter tournaments, you know? If it was a serious wrist injury, it would take way longer than, what was it, 3 months? Or 4 months? I don't even know. When was it? Was it in April? Okay, whatever it is. You know, it would be way longer than that even if there was a tear or something like that. So I think they're just being cautious. Or he heard it again. I don't know. I really don't know. Have not read any articles or anything like that. He's got a new haircut again. Yeah, Super Dave, it's a good stat too. How many double faults? Okay, what's the double fault increase when somebody plays the Eala? That'd be another interesting stat. That'd be very interesting. But kudos to Park getting out of these service games. These were a couple of tough service games. She got out of both. Could have easily gone down a break. And she's very dangerous still. That's very dangerous. With that monster serve, she can snatch the set from Eala. She can. I saw it about Draper. That's tough. Now I didn't see the match, but I read that he couldn't serve fast or he couldn't hit the ball hard in that match. That's very upsetting. Hope that his arm is okay. Kenya says Park is a powerful serve. She makes so many mistakes. Why is that? Yeah, well, that's a good example right there. The first ball, the first point of this game, Eala serving at 1-2. She just hit a very flat trajectory ball inside out and hit it into the net. So her strokes are a flatter trajectory type strokes, and she hits very hard. So with that type of game style, it's natural to make errors. Now, it doesn't mean that you are guaranteed to make errors. You can play that style and be very consistent. One of the most consistent backhands, if not the most consistent, at least it wasn't at some point, is the Daniil Medvedev backhand, and he also hits it lower than any other top player over the net and hits it down the line more. But this is from data from 2024. I think it's changed a little bit now. Probably at the top of the game now is center regarding the backhand, and probably Hodar is up there as well. But you can play consistent and flat at the same time. But when you don't, because you're not always going to play consistent. That's just not what tennis is. Tennis is a nightmare because it's a game of errors. So you have to have something different there because you're just going to hit yourself off the court. And I feel like that's what happens to Alicia. It's just low percentage. She's extremely hard, and she just needs to build more control into her shots. Not necessarily for moments where she's playing well, but when she's in trouble. Extend the rallies, maybe get into longer exchanges, get some height over the net. But it's easier said than done because this is not her. She probably feels the most comfortable playing like this. This is how she's always played, and to change like your game style, it's not so easy. The return error from Parks, and Eala holds the 15. 2-all. Rusetsky on his podcast said that Alcaraz can't possibly play the U.S. Open without a warm-up tournament. Why? I've been so many players have done that. That's more common now than it ever was before. That's maybe true before, back in the day, but Sinner didn't play a tournament before. I think Djokovic started this thing, and Djokovic didn't play a tournament prior to Wimbledon so many years and did well. Alcaraz himself, once before the Roland Garros 2024, he didn't play that many tournaments because of injury, I think. His arm was hurting. And he still won the tournament. So I don't think that he necessarily needs a warm-up tournament. There will be a risk of him losing first or second round just because he's rusty. But if he gets through 2, 3, 4 matches, I think he's going to be okay. There's some monster overhead from Parks. She really ripped that thing. That's an angry overhead from Parks. That was a hard overhead right there. Eala tried to moonball the ball back, and Parks just overheaded it very, very hard. Monster serve and forehand combination from Parks, 30-15. Back to the Alcaraz thing. If he plays without a tournament before, he could play himself into the tournament, but then there was also the question mark of fitness. Even though he's like, he could be top fit and train all he wants, there's nothing can replace playing actual matches and being match tough, match fit. So physically, I think it would be difficult. It's a nice return from Eala into the Park's backhand, and she misses the backhand into the net. So many of these mistakes today. The error into the net off the Eala return. So another unforced error with the forehand, this time down the line, and breakpoint opportunity for Eala, 30-40. It's a half-court forehand that she missed there. She just went into a low percentage spot right there. It didn't have to be that close to the line. Actually, cross-court would have probably been the better option, trying to wrong for the Eala. But easy to say after the fact, you know? A little bit more difficult, or a lot more difficult when you're on the court out there. Facing Eala, who's a very aggressive player, you feel the urge to hit hard. Makes sense to me. And Parks' backhand looked like it was going long, but I think it hit the line. And Eala makes the error. Breakpoint chance saved by Parks. 40 all. Parks has had quite a few of these service games now. 3 in a row. Overdues. Sinner is also undergone 4-hour medical checks before America trip. Wonder whether precautionary or cause for worry. No, I don't think it's cause for worry. He's had those same checks after Roland Garros. They're checking his body. I don't actually know what they're doing. I know that they did perform tests after Roland Garros, and they're very vague. The center team is very vague on what it is. That they're checking another double fault from Parks, add out. But I'm guessing it has something to do with this collapse in Roland Garros. And they're just working on that not happening ever again. But if I remember correctly now, the center did say that they did figure out what it was. So it's a kind of a mystery there. And I don't think we'll ever find out. Which is fine. We don't need to know everything about Sinner, you know? Another monster serve from Parks. And we're back to deuce. And another error into the net off a return. Again, how many have we seen today? So many net errors after the Eala return. And that particular return landed a little bit shorter. That should not have been an open stance forehand. The ball was too short for open stance. Should have stepped up to that one. Parks, but she doesn't. Hits the forehand into the net. Breakpoint chance number 3 for Eala. And another breakpoint chance saved. Monster forehand from Parks into the backhand corner of Eala. That right there was an example of maybe an area where Eala can get even better. To have the ability to hit like an open stance backhand like Osaka, for example, or Mboko, and to be able to make more power from very defensive situations when she's pushed laterally. I think there's still room for improvement there. That's another monster return from Eala off the backhand side. Forces the error from Parks. Breakpoint chance number 4. Another return that's super deep, putting Parks into trouble. Let's see if she can hold again. Drop shot with the forehand, goes in. Eala runs it down and overhits her little slice backhand shot. 4 break points saved in this game by Parks. Back to deuce. That was a nice forehand drop shot from Parks. And a nice way to change things up. That's a beautiful backhand from Parks. Open up the angle, put Eala way off the court over here, and had the whole court to play into. And puts away a very comfortable backhand volley. Add in. Add in. Did not see the Hodar match. Didn't see any matches today. I will tomorrow, though. I'll live stream tomorrow. I'm thinking about live streaming Keys against Kostyuk. Whoa, what a beautiful backhand down the line from Parks. And she holds again. Wow. This could be dangerous for Eala. Had chances in every single service game of Parks so far. And especially this one with the 4 breakpoint chances. There were a couple of rallies there on breakpoint. This is dangerous because now this can linger with you a little bit when you're in your next service game and you can get broken. So we shall see what happens. Yeah, the Greek Spore is a guy that can take out the best players. It's incredible. He is not afraid to beat guys ranked like top 5 in the world. Not afraid at all. Zverev, I saw he worked very hard to get ready for this hardcore swing. He was at the Nadal Academy, so I'm very surprised with this loss, to be honest with you. I thought he was going to do well here in this tournament. Anna, is that true? Zverev said that him and Sinner have been the most consistent players of 2026. Yeah, I think that's a very poor statement, and I think you should stop making it. But as I've explained after, I don't know what it was, after Rome, I think he said that Sinner has separated himself from Alcaraz and himself, meaning Zverev, and then Zverev and Alcaraz have separated themselves from the rest of the tour. You can't put yourself in the same league as Alcaraz, I'm sorry. Even with that Roland Garros title, you can't. It's a whole nother level. Above the Zverev level. And rightfully so, he's getting criticism. I mean, I don't even think that statement is correct. Alcaraz won Australian Open, won Doha, semis of Indian Wells. He didn't play well in Miami. And then final Monte Carlo, and then hurt himself. So how was he inconsistent? It makes no sense. But the only bad tournament was Miami. How you say that's inconsistent? Like, he got hurt then. And you don't want to put yourself above Alcaraz. You don't. Now, has Zverev separated himself from the rest of the tour? We exclude Djokovic, of course. Yeah, you can make the argument. And he's been the second most consistent player, like based on points, of course, but points don't reflect the Alcaraz injury. A nice cross-court backhand from Eala. Forces the error from Parks, who's involved with some technical talk with her coach about her forehand mistake. She was simply too far away from the ball there, and I think she's mimicking that. 40 love. Second serve. The Lobster asked, do you think Eala has potential to become number one in the future? No. I mean, listen, we don't even want to talk about that right now. I think she has potential to be top 10. I think she will be top 10, but I don't know about number one. I mean, listen, she's going to continue to improve. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I wouldn't even think about that right now. It makes no sense to think about that. It makes absolutely no sense. Take it one step at a time. Lucy's in the house. Hi, Lucy. All the cats are very angry today because I wasn't there. I left. Which, by the way, there was like food galore and water galore and all that. But they were alone all day. $40-30. From 40 love to 40-30. It's tricky. That is tricky indeed. Eala's got to take care of business right here. That's a return error from Parks off a very lively serve from Eala, second serve. That thing had a lot of action on it. 3-all. Wow, that service fast from Parks. But again, Eala holding her ground. Redirects the forehand down the line, and Parks just goes for too much on the full sprint. Chances of that ball going in are not very high. She probably should have put more spin on that, maybe reversed the finish and got the ball in play. She went full blast on the full sprint from... She wasn't there early enough anyway. So a mistake is very likely in a situation like that. The big serve, 15-all. Another fantastic return from Eala off a very strong serve from Parks. And another situation where the first ball after the return of Eala is a mistake. This time not in the net, but wide. 40 unforced errors from Parks. And that number is probably very inaccurate because some of these errors are forced in a way. A huge first serve and a beautiful cross-court backhand winner from Parks. 30-all. Second serve is going to be a very interesting point right here. 30-all second serve. Let. Oh, Kathy, that's so funny. My Lucy is a calico as well. She's white, black, and brown. She's a calico. She's staring at me right now. Lucy, I didn't say anything bad, okay? Monster hitting from Park there. It's blasting the ball. And too much power for Eala there. $40-30. Grace says, I'm heading to bed. Eala, bring home the second set. Wait, stay up. This is a crucial part of the match. Don't go to bed yet. It's not in the bag yet. Parks demolishing the ball right now. Hitting it so hard. And another great hold from Parks, 4-3. Great second set from Parks so far. Can Eala make the tour finals in Indian Wells? I wonder, that would be huge. Without a big result in a slam, I mean, she did reach the 4th round. Without big results in WTA 1000s, she did reach the 4th round in Indian Wells. I think the 4th round in Dubai as well, if I remember correctly. And she would need to do well, this hardcore swing, including US Open, and then she would have to do well in the Asian swing as well. So I think it's possible, but that's a very competitive tournament to get into. We're talking about the top 8 players in the world, so it's going to be tough. I can look up what her ranking is in a race. Could be higher. It probably is higher than her real ranking. Let's take a look. WTA race. Let's take a look. She's 16 in the race. So that's nice, but it's still far away from top 8. So I think, a big result at a 1000 or a Grand Slam. That's what's needed to get into that tournament. Okay, you also have 2 Calico sister. Nice. Yeah, Calico is very rare. Beautiful combination of shots from Eala there. A slice serve down the tee and a forehand winner into the backhand corner of Parks. 15 love. Really good footwork there from Eala. Got up to the ball quick, set her feet loaded, and hit the winner. You can do that from the half court. That's going to be better than having to transition through a half court shot, which sometimes you have to do. But if you can get there quick, recognize the ball quick, being able to get there quick, settle yourself, load properly, that's going to result in more forehand winners and less errors as well. And with a beautiful play from Parks there, she comes to the net with a very good approach shot. It's a pretty good volley cross court, but it goes a little bit wide. 30 love. Is Eala overhyped? I don't know what to tell you. I've talked about this so much. And she's getting a lot of support from her home country, which is so nice to see. 40 love. Want to call that hype? I mean, you can, if I guess you could, but I thought hype meant like people hyping someone up to be the next #1, the next Grand Slam champion. And I don't really know that people are doing that. I don't really see that. So it's mostly the hype is relating to all the attention that Eala is getting, and some people are upset with it. I don't get it. .40-15, very strong return from Parks there. True tennis vibes in the house. Return error from Parks of a second serve, frame return error. And that's that leftiness and that quirkiness of that Eala's second serve that a lot of players, including some exceptional returners, have been struggling with as of late. And so does Parks on that particular return. Frames it. There's the hold for Eala. 4-all. Now it's a danger zone for the opponent. Towards the ends of sets is where Eala's return is the most dangerous, because players will have a little bit of added pressure potentially late in sets. I don't think I've ever, I don't know, did I do the Parks Eala match in the Australian Open? Oh, I didn't. I wasn't doing live streaming back then. I mean, I've covered her, but never in a live stream. That's a nice little shot from Eala there, forces Parks to hit a low volley. Hits that ball so low. Does not hit necessarily a poor volley, but it just clips the top of the net. And love 15. My pleasure, Reiner, of course. That's an incredible forehand from Parks right there down the line. Beautifully redirected Eala's power there. 15-all. That ball was very close to the baseline, and she just picked it up and hit a winner off of it. Big serve from Parks there. Forces the rare frame shot from Eala on the return. 30-15. Anna says she would love to see Swiatek win the whole thing. She could. She could turn it around at any time, any place. Swiatek, that's how good she is. Beautiful play there from Parks. 40-15. Parks with the forehand drop shot. Eala runs it down, hits the forehand cross court, and Parks knocks off the volley down the line. Ace from Parks. How many aces does she have so far? Let's check the stats. Serving huge. Serving huge. Parks with 9 aces so far. Guys, hang tight. I'll be right back, okay? Hey Nick, what do you think is holding back Alicia from reaching top 15 in the world? I discussed this earlier in the chat, ATP 101. It's well, I can tell you the short version. She needs to have more consistency when she has an off day. That's a beautiful point there from Parks. Love 15. Eala finds herself in a very dangerous situation here in this match because she had a chance to breaks in 3 service games on the Park serve, and Parks can just turn it on right here, start blasting some winners, and the set is gone just like that. Absolutely, ATP 101. Absolutely. You have to find your best tennis or find a way to win on your worst day. That's what makes a real champion. Double fault from Eala. That's a dangerous time to throw in one of those. Backhand error from Eala. Love 40. Monster return from Parks there. And she breaks the love. We're going 3, guys. Like I said, it's dangerous. This type of stuff is dangerous because, you know, it's like Eala was the better player for vast portions of the second set, but that's what makes tennis crazy because she had chances and a lot of the service games from Parks couldn't capitalize. And now she finds herself in the tighter moment in the second set, serving to stay in it. And just like that, Parks rattles off some good points, and the set is gone. So the third set is going to be very interesting. Guys, so we'll be right back, okay? And love 30 on the Park serve in the first game of the third. Tennis can be weird sometimes. Maybe Eala felt the pressure trying to get the break, and now that she's lost the set, maybe some of that pressure has fallen off. And maybe it's now that she will break. But I gotta say though, Parks has picked up her game a lot. And the serve has been able to help her out tremendously in that second set to get her out of difficult situations. But now off the ground, Parks playing better for sure. Hitting hard like she always does, and the balls are going in. Double fall from Parks, a very unfortunate time. It's 15-40, 2 breakpoint chances for Eala. First game of the third. Second serve here on breakpoint. Huge second serve from Parks. Wow, huge forehand, really ripping. And a monster down the line forehand to save breakpoint. $30-40, breakpoint chance saved. Let's see how many breakpoint chances Parks has saved in this match. So she saved 7 out of 9 breakpoint chances, Parks, so far. Will she be able to save another one right here, 30-40? Second serve again. Will she go hard? She does go hard, but good return by Eala. And a backhand error from Parks into the net. And Eala gets the break. First game of the third. Eala pumps herself up. Very positive body language. She looks, by the way, fit to me. I don't see any signs of fatigue or anything like that. Because she did have tough matches in Washington, D.C. And I even saw that Eala signed up for doubles again with Venus. She was going to play with Venus in Washington, but pulled out. And I think she's playing doubles tomorrow with Venus. So a lot of tennis, but look, Eala's young. She's young and she's on a roll right now. It's not negative to play doubles. You know, it's not a negative thing. I think it can benefit players in singles if they play doubles. Now, of course, if you go deep in singles and doubles simultaneously, that becomes a very difficult challenge, but that's a good defensive little chip from Eala. Good approach out from Parks. Comes in, Eala with a two-handed chip. Gets the ball below the level of the net. And Parks overhits her forehand volley slightly, 15-love. Big serve by Eala, 30-love. Fritz is out, yep, lost first round. Yeah, True Tennis 5, I talked about Fritz in my intro. I was blaming the schedule in my intro. Return error from Parks of a first serve from Eala, 40-love. What a return there from Parks. Angry return right there. Absolutely demolished that backhand. Cross scored. 40-15. Why are some of the top men collapsing in Canada, Nick? Or do you have answered that question? I talked about it a little bit in the beginning, in my intro. I think we're going to see wild results in this tournament for many years to come. Unless they change the schedule, I think it's going to continue. I think Hodar has an opportunity here. He's got a good chance of making the ATP finals. I think Hodar goes deep in this one. I got a feeling. Rublev out, Kaboli out. I did see that, yep. Oh, what a redirectory winner from Eala there. Off a very strong return by Parks, and Eala holds her ground. Hits the backhand cross court for a winner. 2-love. Do you think he's going to beat Musetti 2 times in a row? I haven't thought about that. We have to think about that. That's a tough one. Drop shot from Eala. And Parks is very fast to get to that forehand. Puts it away cross court. The question is, there was a shank from Parks, and Eala, instead of ripping it, she had a drop shot. I think off of shanks, drop shot probably not the best shot selection. Because you want to hit a drop shot of the cleanest ball possible, not a junky ball. When does double start? I think they're playing tomorrow, Eala and Venus. That's a huge forehand right there from Parks. And a huge serve too. $30-love. Incredible drop shot from Alicia Parks. What a game she's putting together here. 40-love. That's a nice forehand winner from Eala. She got helped a little bit because the net slowed down that backhand from Parks. Give Eala plenty of time to hit that winner. And a nice wide serve from Parks. She holds. Eala 2-1 in the third. Up a break. Is this the doubles tournament? No. Every tournament has singles and doubles. Except the ATP. Well, no, ATP finals now have doubles too. Used to be just held on 2 separate sites, but now it's even that has singles and doubles. You want to watch Monfils Forever 25? I think he lost, didn't he, today? Like he won yesterday, but he lost today, right? Something like that. While we're talking about Monfils, let's talk about some of the results. Oh no, he's playing right now. He's playing Tien. Okay, I gotcha. He's playing Tien. He's up. He won the second set 6-love. Amazing. I will focus back on this one here. It's a monster return from Parks there. That one overpowered Eala a little bit. She hit the forehand with a continental grip, it looked like. Or maybe not, but she just could shovel it back in play, couldn't do much with it. And Parks hits a winner through the middle of the court. Love 15. Love 30. Leave this stream. It's very delayed. It's already on the last set. What are you talking about? We are at 2-1 Eala in the third. Love 30. And now it's a double fault. Love 40. Might be delayed by a couple of points. I wasn't a double fault, sorry. Then a rally, nice drop shot there from Parks, and a nice high backhand volley. 3 breakpoint chances for Parks, love 40. It's hard playing Parks because, you know, you get these incredibly powerful shots coming at you non-stop, and sometimes there are errors, other times they're not. Everything's going in. Difficult opponent to deal with. Second serve for Eala. Double fault. And we're 2-all. Another error off the return from Eala on the first ball. Parks just going hard, no matter what the score, no matter what the shot, just absolutely demolishing the ball. And now with a couple of backhand errors, love 30 again. Another error from Eala, this time off a shorter return that lands inside the service line. That's an unforced error right there. It's a loose ball error. Love 40. Up and down match for sure. Mostly from Parks. And another error from Parks there, hits a backhand into the net. She kind of broke herself right there. I mean, of course, Eala's still making her play and returning these monster serves. That's far from easy, but still, it's just a lot of unforced errors from Parks in this game. And Eala, again, up a break in the third. She pumps herself up. I'm sure she's going to focus on the first point of the next service game and try to do a better job there. Start maybe hitting that serve a little bit more aggressive. She can draw more return errors out of Parks. Maybe utilize that slice, go close to the lines. Eala shouldn't fall into her comfort zone, which is just getting that first serve in. It could work against Parks, but it's risky because, again, it's a lot of firepower from Parks. And generally speaking, when you're putting a power player on the run or on the stretch, the likelihood of a mistake increases. Big serve there from Eala. 15 love. Like I said, very important. That first point is so huge on the serve, especially after you have broken. There's a forehand error from Eala. She doesn't move up to that ball, reaches for it. The backhand was a lot shorter than she expected from Parks. 15 all. Monfils breaks in the third set. That'd be something else if Monfils can make the third round here. And that's a very, very good return from Parks. And Eala was able to redirect that return exceptionally well with the backhand down the line. That return was so hard from Parks. She ripped that thing. 30-15. Big serve from Eala there down the tee. And just monster hitting from Parks. Just monster hitting right there. Backhand cross-court. Rip. Eala runs it down but can't get it back in play. 30 all. That's a huge serve from Eala right there. Much needed. Down the tee. And another huge serve out wide. Two big serves from Eala at very crucial stages of this match. That is a serve improvement that I'm talking about. Like she's getting more help from her serve. Able to hold easier and also get out of difficult situations in the service games with some harder serves closer to the lines. 4-2 Eala, third set. Let's see if she gets an insurance break right here. That's a shot that can work well against Parks, is that forehand cross court from Eala, where she can get Parks to hit backhands from here, you know, outside the singles lines, like she did on that rally, and she got an error out of the Parks. But it's not like Parks didn't give her errors through the middle of the court. She did, a lot actually. So the return through the middle, for example, has worked well for Eala also. Big serve and a big forehand combo there from Parks, 15-30. Second serve is going to be a big opportunity here for Eala. So return missed it from Eala, but a down the line backhand, she hit that really well. Parks goes to the slice, misses it into the net. 15-40, 2 breakpoint chances for Eala. Too good from Parks there. Big serve down the tee and a backhand down the line winner. And Eala with a very, very strong return and a very deep backhand draws the error from Parks, and there's another break. Eala up 5-2 in the third set. She will serve for the match. Again, that return able to push Parks backwards and then puts even more pressure on her with a very strong backhand cross court. Incredibly clutch. MacB40 says Eala deep shot just forces those errors. Wow. Yeah, it's incredible. She can't overpower opponents. It's really incredible. She hits very deep with a lot of pace. And especially off the return, that's tricky because, you know, when you serve, you're automatically like inside the court, right? And especially if you're serving fast, like a flat serve. Not only is that the fastest serve, but it's also the one that comes back the quickest. And if you're already in the court, which you have to be after the serve, and you get this incredible return from Eala that's landing like right here, you know, that's tough. That's tough. It's not just Parks is making these mistakes. It was Osaka, it was Pegula, it was Svitolina. Okay, guys, I got a poll. We didn't do a poll today. I forgot. You guys got to remind me. And Eala, 15 love. 3 points away from reaching the third round in Toronto. Beautiful serve there from Eala. Down the tee with a little bit of slice. Draws the error from Parks on the previous point. Just an incredible forehand crosscourt winner. And we got 40 love. 3 match points for Eala. And there it is. Game, set, match, Eala. Very, very tricky match for Alex. Very tricky match. The problem is that when Alicia's on and she's making shots, she's so tough. There's not much you can do. She has incredible power. But even that match point, that's the problem. She hit the incredible return into the forehand of Eala. Eala got that ball back defensively, and then Alicia misses a relatively easy forehand into the net. She missed a lot of balls into the net today, which makes sense because she has a very flat trajectory, and she also hits the ball extremely hard. So when she's on, it's, she can be dangerous for anyone on tour, but this type of game style, to be able to pull it off consistently, it can work for some players, but it's usually it doesn't work out too well. So I think the next step for Alicia is to really add some control into her ground game, which she can extend the rallies if she really needs to. But again, like I said in the beginning, sometimes that goes against the nature of the player, the identity of the player. She is a power player. That's what she's most comfortable with. It's plausible that if she changes her game style too much, that she won't have the same success. So this is a lot easier said than done. It's also quite tricky. It's just how Alicia plays, and matches like this are common. And I think Alex didn't really have that much of a drop-off in the second set. I really don't think so. She did lose her serve at 5-4. But I think that was more the fact that Alicia, with some great serving, was able to get out of 3 very difficult service games. And one in particular where, I think the one at 3-2, where Eala had, 4 break points and she couldn't capitalize. And Parks makes it out of all those service games, finds herself up 5-4 with Eala serving, and all of a sudden, she starts cranking balls and they're going in, and she breaks and snatches the set away from Eala. But again, kudos to Eala, because early in the third, she really showed a lot of positive body language and was rock solid. And got that early break. Got the insurance break, served it out. Exceptional mental game from Eala. I mean, she's really showing maturity and a huge improvement. I mean, Eala, even last year, was so dangerous in terms of Miami, but we're seeing the growth of a player. We're seeing the improvements in different aspects of her game. And now that Noskova lost to McNally, I think Eala has an opportunity to go into the fourth round. She's going to be the huge favorite in that particular match. And let's take a look at the draw real quick. We'll try to see where. So they're not going to play tomorrow for sure. They'll probably play on Friday. And we'll stream that one for sure. I don't know quite yet what I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm thinking about Kostu Keys, but we shall see. And also, let's not forget that Eala was able to avenge her loss from the Australian Open this year. So it's an uncomfortable opponent for her. And it's a great win. On top of that, she was able to play well despite having played the final in Washington like 2 days ago on Monday, which is tough, more than tough. And also, sometimes there can be a natural letdown after winning your biggest title, and you don't do so well in the following tournaments. But Eala came through this one, which is very impressive against a very tough opponent. So, all right, let's see here. Yeah, she'll play McNally, and then wait, fourth round against Iga. I don't know. I need to see the PDF draw. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing because that draw is so huge, like I said in the beginning. It's a giant draw. Let's take a look at the poll. So 37% of people think she's going to finish top 15 in the world in 2026. Not that many people think top 10. I mean, I guess they do. 28%. And 14% think Eala will finish in the top 5. We shall see. We shall see, guys. Thank you so much, Albesa. Thank you for watching. ATX Super Dave said top 10. Okay, good. That's a good call. Thank you for the super chat, Pia. I appreciate you. Congratulations on this win. Congratulations. So McNally will be tricky. McNally, don't underestimate her. She's a great player, but I expect Eala come to that one as well. We will be live streaming that. Let's take a look again tomorrow, the schedule. On Stadium, we got Golubic Swiatek first on, 12:30. Then Pegula Rakimova, Sabalenka Shang. Then it's the Eala Williams doubles matches on center court. Then there's grandstand matches. That's the one. The third one on is Kostyuk against Keys. That's the one I'm going to take a look at and potentially live stream. Let's take a quick look at the men. How about Atman in this tournament? Takes out Hachanov in the second round. Arnaldi with a nice win over Marozsan. Interesting. Feast won. It's nice to see him healthy out there. So guys, that's it. Eala's first round victory in Toronto after having won the WTA 500 title in Washington, D.C. Like I said before, it's not so easy, even though it might look easy on paper. So we shall see what happens or like Sinner says, let's see what's coming, guys. Let's see what's coming. And I'm going to see you guys in another one tomorrow. All right. Take it easy, guys.